This female translator was horrified to discover the latest novel she is translating curses the first person who reads it will suffer the death of his family, and tonight the first one will be killed. The woman didn't care too much, thinking the author was playing a trick. That night, however, she was awakened by a shout at the door. She goes outside and finds her favorite dog brutally killed. She instantly panicked and thought of a curse. She immediately called the police to report the incident, but the policewoman didn't care when she saw that only a dog was dead. She also said the woman wasted resources and scolded her, so Mary told her husband about the curse, but her husband also thought she was making a big deal out of it. He also urged her to go to work quickly, but as soon as she arrived at the office, Mary was called home by her husband on the phone, because shortly after she left, the family's nanny also went to heaven. Fortunately, after her husband left the house, he realized that he had forgotten something and returned to find out. Mary was completely panicked and blamed the policewoman. If she had paid attention to the death of the dog and the curse last night, she would have been able to avoid the death of the nanny, but the policewoman still thinks there is no connection between the two incidents. She also said that the nanny's death was probably a burglary and homicide, because according to the examination, they found that the nanny's gold necklace had been stolen. To confirm Mary's claim that the curse had nothing to do with the case, the policewoman immediately asked Mary to confirm the people who knew about the necklace, and the first suspect was the nanny's nephew, because after the nanny's death, he came to see the lawyer at once. He was happy to inherit the nanny's $7 million, so the policewoman interrogated him for 3 days. However, she found out that the nephew was eating at the restaurant on the day of the murder. He had an alibi and could not commit the crime. The policewoman couldn't help but wonder, is the death of the dog and the nanny really related to the curse? Meanwhile, the security guard hired by Mary's husband suddenly noticed that the male neighbor next door was always looking around the house. He looked very suspicious. The security guard thought he was the murderer and immediately ran up to him and questioned him, but he said he was innocent. He said he suspected that Mary's husband, Jack, was the murderer. He told the security guard that he was walking his dog on the day of the murder and saw Jack leave the house first, then Mary, but soon Jack returned. He stayed for less than 5 minutes and then rushed out of the house. When the security guard heard this, the time difference was enough to kill someone, also could not help but be suspicious of Jack.